Hello, everyone. In the spirit of safety and community, the Apple Hill Center for Chamber Music presents its 2021 online concert series. Each month, we'll present first a video blog, Scenes from Apple Hill, and then 2 weeks later, an online concert. All these events will be Sunday at 3 p.m., and all will be free of charge. We strongly encourage you to donate. Apple Hill needs your support. Now, you're about to see the first of our Scenes from Apple Hill. Tonight, Apple Hill celebrates.
We'll go around the world from Seattle to Syria to Cyprus as faculty and alumni show us their favorite special occasion foods. In a cooking show first for Apple Hill, director Lenny Matczynski and Apple Hill String Quartet violinist Elise Kuder reveal the summer workshop dal recipe that Apple Hillers will remember fondly from sessions past, made famous by our former Nepali summer chef, Chungba Tamang. To finish, the Apple Hill String Quartet will perform Free and So Thankful by alum Sato Matsui, filmed in the Harrisville General Store as we work to celebrate and support our beloved local businesses. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Hello, Elise.
Hello, Lenny.
Elise, did you ever think that you'd be cooking in a construction site?
Of course.
Okay. Why don't you tell us what's going to happen today?
Sure,
Okay.
I'd love to. We are here today to share a long-beloved recipe at Apple Hill. It's been at Apple Hill cooked and enjoyed at lunch and dinner time for more than 30 years.
Yeah.
This is dal from Nepal, and we all learned it from Chungba, who was a cook at Apple Hill in the 80s and 90s. I'm wondering if we should just start and then we can chat about Chungba.
I just want you to tell me what to do because
Happily,
Yeah.
Lenny, happily.
Right.
Okay, so first of all, and then we'll get into more of the stories. Keep my distance, Lenny,
I see you eyeing onions.
Yes.
Do you want me to peel and cut the onions?
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Right. Do people need to know my technique of?
Yes, I think that is.
You need a sharp knife. I know that.
I hope that's sharp.
I always cut the little
Just
tops
be careful,
off.
Lenny, because I don't know how.
Not sharp.
Oh dear. Okay, so I will start in a little bit with the story of how I learned the recipe.
Yeah, because Elise, I think I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
A lot of people might not know this. You know, that Elise started at Apple Hill when she was 12. Now she's the beautiful first violinist of the Apple Hill String Quartet, but she started here as a little kid when she was 12. And I was wondering, did you know what dal was? Or
No.
Did you eat the dal when you were 12?
Oh yeah, of course, but I'd never heard of it. I don't know if I'd ever had anything with curry in it. I mean, who knows? I don't know. So it was all very new, but I thought it was absolutely delicious, and we had it, it was out for us to eat lunch and dinner. It was just sort of a staple for So sometime in like the late 90s or early 2000s, there was a violinist from Dallas, Charles Jones, who's a beautiful violinist, and he also was an excellent cook, and he would cook in the kitchen with Chungba, and they became such good friends, and I think Chungba really trusted him as well as a cook, so he was called Chukba, but this is a while ago. So at some point, I gave Charles Chukba a lesson on Bach's D minor solo sonata, and as barter, he taught me the recipe.
That's a great barter.
It really is. I mean, I got the better deal, I think, because I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I'm sure I did. And Charles, I have to say, I think it might have been the first thing I actually really learned to cook, which is sad, but it's true. So he said, you just chop a pile of onions.
I'm doing that.
Yes. But I think now when I make it, I would either use one large onion, or this was like 2 small medium onions.
Yeah.
And you're mincing them just like you're doing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're doing it wrong.
You're incorrect.
Yeah, I'm mincing them.
You're doing exactly like Lenny. And then you're probably going to put, how much oil is this? I don't know, maybe like 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Again, he just dumped in some oil, and I loved that. I'll dump in some more. You really can't go wrong. I just want to say this. With onions, garlic, red lentils, the spices, add some hot sauce and salt. Like, you just cannot go wrong.
So I guess we're sharing this. We're giving people.
Oh, yes.
This is like a cooking class.
It is.
Okay, good.
Yes. But that's why a pile of onions is not. I've never read that in a recipe in a cookbook before. So that's the kind of show this is, though. That's our show. Yeah.
Okay, I'm almost
Lenny,
done.
where are those onions?
No, I'm almost done. You know, I'm very...
No, be careful, Lenny,
No,
of
I'm
your
very
fingers.
meticulous
Everyone
about
be
my
very
onions.
careful.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you want me to do?
So we're going to put them in here, but you know what I realized? I've never used this hot pot before. I think I heard it click.
I did too.
Okay, good. So I think you're going to put... We'll see if this actually works. You can just dump them in.
All right.
Thank you, Lenny.
As
Probably should have
they
heated up
say
the
at
oil
the
a little
Ritz,
bit more.
my pleasure.
Well, that's exactly what this is. Okay, Lenny.
Oh.
Great news. The hot plate works. So it is actually cooking.
Good. I noticed that you just put 2 garlic cloves on the
I was
cutting board.
giving
I'm
you a
assuming you want me to chop them.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So again,
2.
first, 2. Well, that's
2.
the thing. You can do more if you want more garlic.
Got it.
I think Charles actually did more, like 4 or 5.
Wow.
So you can sort of see how garlicky you want it, or yeah. So Lenny, you're chopping the garlic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And we're waiting for this to heat up a bit so the onions can be totally translucent. But until then, let's check in on some of our other alumni and see what they're cooking.
Fantastic.
Hi friends at Apple Hill, my name is Irene and I'm in Bogor, Indonesia, and I'm going to show you a food that we eat a lot here. It's called gado-gado, which means mix. There's potatoes, beans, bean sprouts, tofu, and a lot of other vegetables, and it's mixed with peanut sauce. So check it out.
Hello, my name is Riaz. I play the cello. I'm from Syria but living now in Iowa City. And today I want to share with you one of the most traditional Syrian appetizers. It's called baba ganoush, which is a vegan dish. For this dish, we need 1 to 2 eggplants, 3 diced Roman tomatoes, 1 diced green pepper, 1 to 2 minced cloves of garlic, half diced onion, 1 squeezed lemon juice, and some salt depends on your taste. For decoration, we will have 3 tablespoons of parsley, chopped parsley, 3 tablespoons of pomegranate, and we will use this very traditional Middle Eastern syrup called pomegranate syrup or molasses, and we need olive oil. Traditionally, we want to burn the eggplants, so at home we usually put it straight on the fire, like in gas stove or even on the grill. But to make it easier, we're gonna do it today on the oven, so we're gonna broil it. First, we try to poke some holes in the eggplants because it's gonna leak later. and after that we're gonna put it in the broil. Now broil it till it's charred or like skin gets very dry and almost burnt. Now after 35 minutes we check and we see they're actually ready. So meanwhile, after like 20 minutes I try to rotate them to make sure, and now we see it's dry and it's very squishy, so it's good to be peeled. Now, after we waited till the eggplant get cooked a little bit, we start smashing them. Have a very nice texture, very soft, and it really, you can smell it, very burnt already. So another alternative option, if you don't want to go through burning the eggplants, you can go to any Mediterranean place at a grocery store and you'll find maybe fire roasted eggplants.
Now, we start adding ingredients. So we do garlic. Yes.
Final stage, put the decorations. And the pomegranate molasses. It has this sour taste. And with oil. That's it, Syrian baba ganoush.
My name is Emily Edelstein. I play the viola, and I'm from Lexington, Massachusetts, Las Vegas, but now I live in Providence, Rhode Island, the Ocean State. And I've been going to Apple Hill since 2010. It's my favorite place in the world, and even though we can't be together in person this year, it's been really amazing to see the community still come together in virtual ways. So I'm really excited to show you the focaccia that I made that I would share with friends and family, and instead we'll be sharing with all of you virtually. Well, folks, thanks for following along my bread journey. If you want a nice close-up of my new baby, here's the back. Listen to that sound. Let's cut it open.
We're ready. Here we go. There's some sauteing happening.
Wait, you have to say welcome, but
Oh yeah, welcome back. Okay. Welcome back to Doll with Lenny and Elise. We have some sauteing happening.
Well, yeah, I think there's an important moment about to happen.
What's that?
We're gonna put the garlic.
Yes,
Is that all right?
of course.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, Lenny. So while this has already gotten a little translucent, then you're gonna add your garlic, as Lenny as shown so expertly.
Two cloves.
2 cloves or 10, whatever you're feeling like. So this is going to saute for, I'm going to turn it down to medium again, for probably another 2 minutes.
It smells good.
I know, it's
At
really,
least
it's incredible. I know, you just want to eat it now. Maybe we can chat a little or share a little bit about Chungba, who told us about this recipe.
Yeah. I remember Chungba when I first started teach here in the 80s, and he's a Sherpa.
Yes, he is a Sherpa on Everest.
And he came here in the summers to cook, right?
Because it was the rainy season there, so he cooked here.
And I remember, like you, I didn't even know what dal was. I never ate it, and I still remember the first time I ate the dal. And I remember reading a restaurant review where the reviewer said, if you can remember the meal the next day, because it's such a ephemeral experience, that's a good meal. And I remember it 30-some years later. It's a fantastic, and there was so much love in what he did.
I think so. He is just the person I remember who just smiles the most of anyone. Well, Lenny, I hope you're going to have that same experience tomorrow after you eat this. So now we're ready and for weeks to come. We have our next step.
Is it to put the seasonings in?
It is.
Ooh.
Lenny, good guess.
What was Charles' direction about?
Okay, so Charles, I'm going to tell you first of all how he told me.
All right.
So there are 3 main spices, and of course you can add hot sauce and all that at the end, and you should. He said it's twice as much curry as turmeric and cumin, but he didn't really give. He just sort of dumped in. So I am going to use
a spoon.
But it's going to stand in for like a tablespoon. So that's
I think style, Elise.
Yes, exactly.
You got it down.
So while it's still. That's maybe the turmeric, and I usually add more.
That's like a teaspoon and a tablespoon and a half.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's cumin. Then the same amount of cumin. Oh my God, that's going everywhere. But that's good.
A tablespoon.
And sometimes I like cumin, so sometimes I add a little more.
Yeah.
As I said, you can't go wrong. And then twice that of curry. I don't know. So, and you're doing it while it's still sauteing on low.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but the main thing is you do want to add as much as you think you're going to need at this time, because if you add it later on, it's
sandy.
Exactly, it's grainy and you don't like it.
You've been taught well.
Yes. So, now I've probably turned it down a little bit too much. You're going to keep this. I guess that's not simmering. What is it? Cooking?
We want to put it on low.
Yeah, on low. And it's just going to kind of soak into the onions and garlic. And you keep on stirring because you really don't want it to burn. Yeah. But you're just, How
many times have you made this since?
Millions.
Really?
I mean, it's a great recipe. It's so good. It's so healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I think this is now ready for our next step.
Oh.
And that is... What do you think that is, Lenny?
I have a feeling it's the... Wait, it's the water.
Well, and...
Oh, and the red lentils.
Yes.
Okay.
Lenny, fantastic.
I've never made this before.
Oh, I know. You're being brilliant. Okay, so what did I... Oh, you know what, Lenny? We have to use this because I don't have another. So you are going to, let's say for now, let's see what a cup looks like. That's a half cup.
It's a half a cup.
So the main
Where
thing
am I
is,
putting it?
you can put it in here because we're gonna measure it first, just in there.
So am I going to use a cup or a half a cup?
Let's do a whole cup. But I think actually, you know what? We might do a cup and a half. Yeah, let's do a cup and a half. Okay. So the main thing is, and this is actually a little bit wrong because some brown lentils snuck into our
I thought
jar.
you meant I did it wrong.
No, you are completely correct. But you should use red lentils. That's the trick. So if you
Okay.
wanted to look in the end, it's going to be sort of yellow, not brown or green.
Yeah.
You really want to use the red lentils.
A cup and a half.
So about a cup and a, but again, if you want to make more or less, you can. It's
Yeah.
fine. And now the one thing we're not doing now, Lenny, I hope this will be okay with you. We don't have water here to rinse it, but you really should rinse all you do is put in a little bit of water, swish it around, dump it out, but we're not doing that, so hopefully we will be safe. Okay, so then, actually I guess I've usually rinsed them, so we'll just dump them in.
Okay.
And then you're gonna put in about twice as much water to start off. So however many, so I guess that means,
3 cups.
yeah. Or maybe it's about the same, I don't know. I'm just gonna do that.
You can start.
Yeah. Do it about the same or a little here, Mike. Will you come in? So it's gonna look like that at first. So you like cover everything sort of covered, but it's not a lot of water.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
This is a terrible cooking show.
No, I think it's great.
Yeah. So it's about.
So now what do you? Now
okay.
you're going to turn it up.
So
so
now
it
you're going to
boils?
turn it up so it boils. Thank
Boils,
you, Lenny.
okay.
But
I'm
then
just
once it boils, you're going to turn it down just to simmer.
Okay. and
But
how
get
long
it to
does-
boil.
How long do you think that takes to cook it?
It's at least a half hour.
Half hour.
Yeah, I mean, I guess probably now on an Instapot someone would be, but that will be our next episode.
Okay.
So I think now it's time to check in with another alumni to chat with us about their food.
Hello, my name is Hannah. I'm from Peru and I play the violin. Today I'm going to explain about 3 Peruvian dishes that I often eat with my family and my friends. The first one is pollo a la brasa.
It's a common dish of Peruvian cuisine and one of the most consumed in Peru. It is a Peruvian version of the blackened chicken or rotisserie chicken. The dish was originated in the city of Lima in the 1950s. It is served with a portion of French fries, salad with a homemade ranch sauce, and a variety of sauces depending on the restaurants. Peruvian loves ají, which is a spicy sauce made with Peruvian pepper.
The second one is salchipapa.
It's a Peruvian fast food and is commonly consumed as street food. It contains thinly sliced pan-fried sausages and French fries. The name comes from the combination of the Spanish words salchicha, that means sausage, and papa, that means potato. You can put sauces of your choice, such as ketchup, mustard, olive sauce, or ají. Sometimes a fried egg is added on top and we call it salchipapa montado. We call any food with fried egg on top, the name of the food, montado.
The last one is papa la huancaína.
This is a Peruvian appetizer of boiled yellow potatoes in a spicy, creamy sauce called huancaína sauce. The sauce is made of fresh white cheese, vegetable oil, yellow Peruvian pepper, evaporated milk, and salt mixed in a blender. Some people also add garlic, onion, and crushed saltine crackers. This sauce is also used in many other Peruvian dishes. I like to put it in spaghetti and meat sauce.
I hope you like the video, and also I hope you can come one day to Peru so you can taste all of this delicious food that Peru has. Bye! Bye!
Hey guys, my name is George. I'm from Cyprus. I play the clarinet sometimes. And welcome to Cyprus. Welcome to my house. And I do hope I do enlighten your cooking abilities in the next few minutes. So today I'm going to show you how to make some Cyprus style kebabs with a slight George twist. So before going on, I would like to let you know that basically a kebab is something that is done without any marinade or anything. However, we are going to put a slight twist to it, and we are going to make one of my personal favorite recipes, and I do hope you enjoy it. So tonight I'm preparing everything, and I will leave it in the fridge for 10 hours just for the marinade to work. And tomorrow I am actually going to show you how to cook it properly. So now let's have a look at our ingredients. So over here we've got our meat, of course. We are going to put some salt, pepper, garlic, onions, olive oil, vinegar, oregano, zest from a lemon and the juice from a lemon, and white wine. So there is not really any kind of preparation for this. You just put them in, you blend them together, and you just leave them in the fridge for 10 to 12 hours. All right, guys, so this is part number 2. We do simply get the meat out of the fridge, and it will be looking something like this. Yes, and then we soak some skewers in the water, and we will be putting the meat on the skewers. And then, because unfortunately the day doesn't look very well here, it will be raining, and yes, I know in Cyprus it does rain actually sometimes. So we are going to use this lovely machine over here, which will not do exactly the same work, but it will do the trick. Alright guys, here we are. We put it properly. Now look at that piece of art. And now we will be cooking it for 20 minutes. Then we're going to turn it around and cook it for another 20 minutes, and it should be done. Alright guys, and now after cooking it for around 40 minutes, we have the final product. So, and this is it. Souvlaki, Georgia style. And I really do hope you enjoy it. Stay safe.
Hi, I'm Reem. I play the piano and I am from Jordan. I will be sharing with you a recipe for vegetarian malube. There are so many variations of malube. This is just my own variation on it. Start with eggplants, peel them, slice them. I don't deep fry them just for, better health reasons. Roast them in the oven with olive oil and salt. I do fry the cauliflower, so that's the next thing that I'll do is make them into little florets and actually fry them a little bit until they're kind of cooked, but not too much, because they'll continue cooking in the main pot. I use carrots really just to add decoration and color. They also add some flavor, but not too much. Onions and potatoes I use instead of meat or chicken at the base of the pot. And so I saute the onions with olive oil. I add salt and pepper and allspice to this mix. And then I'll add the potatoes and kind of cook them, but not really, until they're, and then I create 2 layers at the bottom, and they kind of create an insulation from the heat a little bit. So we have the eggplants, the cauliflower, and the rice. What I'll do with the rice is I'll add the spices into the rice. So I use allspice, salt, pepper, a little bit of cardamom, and some vegetable stock. And then the layering begins. So as you'll see in this video, potatoes are at the bottom. Again, the carrots are on the side just for decoration. and then you just layer the different ingredients. You can do whatever you want in this part. You just want to sprinkle the rice in between each layer, and you can add your own vegetables. It's really very flexible. And after you layer everything in, for cooking, you add water to cook the rice, and that's it. You don't add more for the vegetables. The dish is then cooked for about an hour on heat, and we try and flip it over, as you'll see in the video. Once it's flipped over, you hope that it will come out in one piece, and we'll see what happens here. So, of course, I needed a lot of help with filming and taking this, but it worked out at the end. And I really don't know why the carrots are sticking out like that, but it tasted really good. I hope you enjoy. If you have questions, you can email me. Sahtain.
Okay, we're back with a fortissimo boil right now, which I have to say, you don't want the fortissimo boil to last for very long. That's too loud. You're going to turn it down. Wow.
So, Elise, how long is it going to take to cook about?
I think you're going to simmer it for about half hour, but really you're going to simmer it until the lentils have softened.
So, Elise, can I ask you some questions?
Of course, but actually, Lenny, I'm very sorry. There's one thing I realized I totally forgot about, and it's very important, and that is to salt. So even I should have done it, actually. I was distracted because of this. You should actually really do it even beginning with the onions, just depending on your blood pressure, I suppose, or how much salt you like. But then you're just going to dump some in just along the way. You can, of course, do it at the end, but I think it's nice. Yeah, me too. Okay, so now we're just going to let this simmer, and we can chat. Yeah. When you're cooking this, if it starts to get too dry, you're just going to add a little bit more water. And as you make this multiple times, millions of times, like myself, you can also see what you prefer. Do you want it to be a little more watery? Do you want it to be heavier? It's really up to you, and it'll be probably a little different every time, much like live chamber music, which is fantastic. It will have nuance, and you can kind of decide for yourself what you'd like for that meal. But I think right now, we'll let it sit for a bit. Yes.
So now I'm going to ask you questions. Okay. So I've heard you many times talk about what it was like when you were here at 12, that you didn't want to come at first. You were being kind of forced, I think you said.
I was forced.
But then you were here for a little while and you really loved it. So I'm assuming part of it was because of the music. But was there something else that you could say?
I mean, I think it's probably how people still feel now. There was something about the combination of, the music, and then the people who also loved the music. I mean, it was people from all over, all ages, who all were there to work on this music, and they didn't think it was nerdy, they didn't think it was dumb, you know, it was like, whoa, they celebrated it. Yeah. And then, of course, you're in this setting, and they're not this setting, but you're out in nature, and everyone also really loved and appreciated and celebrated that. Like, there was something about that, the combination of those three things that I think, and of course then adding in the encouragement that, there was no judgment, there was no competition, and that was like utopia.
Elise, I remember you when you were 12, 13, or 14, I don't know how old you were, but we were having dinner in the barn, and a group was going to come out and play after dinner, sort of the informal Apple Hill thing. And I think you were I know you were the first violinist, and somebody next to me said, oh, wait till you hear this violinist, her name is Elise. And I think you were playing Dvorak. So I was wondering, what is it like to perform in such an informal, like after a meal when everybody's applauding and screaming? Were you nervous, or
well, of course you get nervous because you want to do your best. I mean, I always get nervous, so that's part of you. You want to do the best you possibly can. So there's a little bit about that that's always going to give you a little extra boost of adrenaline. But it was also fantastic because everyone loved it. Yeah. At the time, it wasn't recorded. Yeah. It was just once in a lifetime. Yeah. No one was judging. They had just eaten. Everyone was relaxed. It was just pure entertainment and joy.
It was 100%.
It really was.
It was 100%.
Yeah, I think
So
it still
remember,
is.
it's still.
Lenny,
I was
I'm
just.
very sorry to interrupt you, but I
Is there
forgot.
more? Is this a salt moment? or
No,
what?
although we should sell more. I completely forgot about the rice.
Oh.
So we are cheating. We're making it in an Instapot. So I'm just going to do this quickly
Is there
you
water
do
in
want.
there?
There is.
Oh,
So there's
okay.
water and rice.
Boil.
The main thing is you want to have it with rice.
Yeah.
So at some point while you're cooking this, you make your rice.
Yeah. When I first came to Apple Hill, I didn't know anything about Apple Hill. I heard of it, but I never really knew anything about the culture. And at the very first after meal concert, when the group came out, it just was like this wild, enthusiastic applause, and people were screaming and jumping, and they hadn't even played yet, and I was blown away by that. And I think you're right, that culture is still here in such a big way.
Yeah.
And so how old were you when you started to be a coach and on the faculty? Were you?
I think I was like 24
You
or
were
25.
24.
Yeah.
So very young.
Yeah. First I came here like right after grad school. Yeah.
To be a coach.
Yeah.
And you
So
started to go on tour with the.
Yep.
the
So
group.
that was
Yeah.
a wonderful next step of training, really, just to be able to. It was like an internship. You
Can
just
I
got
ask
to
you
do it.
another
Yeah.
question that might be, I don't know if it's, if you're going
If
to
I
answer
don't like it, I'll just throw curry at you, Lenny. So.
No, I was wondering, when you were in music school, did you have I want to be a soloist and play concertos. I want to play chamber music.
I never wanted that.
I want to be in an
Sorry.
orchestra. You never wanted
To
what?
be a soloist.
Okay. Well, is the playing in a string, this is going to be a really cheesy question,
Yes.
but is playing in a string quartet part of your dream that you wanted, or is this just something that happened and it's turned out to be wonderful? Because the quartet sounds great. You're fantastic. I'm just wondering.
Thank you. I don't think it was specifically to be in a string quartet
Okay.
because I didn't really grow up with. I mean, I
Yeah.
grew up playing string quartets at Apple Hill
Yeah.
and in my hometown with people at my school, but it wasn't like I grew up idolizing one particular string quartet. I idolized all chamber music.
Yeah.
So I think when I was little, I think once I started coming here, if you told me that I'd be able to do this as my living, I mean, I would be like, oh, that's fantastic. But at school, I went to Tanglewood. I loved playing in that orchestra. It was fantastic. So for a second, I thought, oh, maybe I want to do this. I mean, I was open to just about anything.
You were open.
I went to Spoleto, played in the opera orchestra. That was absolutely fabulous. I thought, oh, maybe I'll do this. But then I think it was that summer that I did Spoleto that I also came to coach at Apple Hill for the first time. And that just it just turned a corner. I discovered how much fun it was also to coach chamber music, and then and it just became an avenue that was open for me, and I discovered that it was one that I loved.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I stayed open to things because you just don't know.
So you were kind of ready because you
I think
practiced
so. Oh yeah,
a lot, I'm sure. You were ready but open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you try lots of weird stuff too.
Yeah.
So
I think another question, and you don't have to answer this one either, but the quartet, I think a lot of people might not know this, but the quartet rehearses 4 hours every day during the year. Do you practice on your own those days? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it depends on how intense you have to also preserve your body. So I think it depends on how if we're practicing a lot of furious stuff, and I'm also teaching, and I'm cooking, or I'm gonna go then maybe I won't practice as much that day, or I'll do other days. I'll just do really slow stuff on my own. Or
So it sounds
weekends,
like you're open there too.
very very open.
So I was just wondering because you start early, you start at 9:30. Do you have a routine I'm going to practice an hour and a half before rehearsal, or you do it after the rehearsal to practice some of the stuff that you?
That's almost too much for me. But I think that many people can.
I know.
But I have had arm things. So, no, I realized in the summertime, 2 years ago, I didn't need to warm up as much anymore. I thought maybe this is because I've been playing the violin for 43 years.
Yeah.
Or it's just but actually then during the year, it's a little too cold. You do have to warm up. So it depends on the piece. It depends on where you're at. Of course, you still do your scales. And
I remember I was at another summer festival, not Apple Hill, and Joseph Silverstein, who was the concert master of the BSO, was giving the master class, and he was talked a lot about warming up, and he said a lot of string players before a concert, they're all like going crazy and playing, and he said, but if you go to an orchestra concert early, all the winds are there, and all they're doing is blowing long, and so that's what got me to start doing long, slow bows before every concert. Yeah.
I had roommates who said it sounded like primordial ooze. They're like, even Rupert's like, I have no idea what you're playing, Elise.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what's worked for me. I think, again, everyone's body is slightly different, or the way they want to train is slightly different, just like this doll, Lenny.
The doll is
some people
looking
want it
good.
Watery,
It smells
some people
good.
want with no garlic.
Yeah.
It actually is smelling. I don't know if you want to get a little close-up of how it's looking now. I think they're still needing to.
Yeah.
They're not quite done.
Yeah.
But it's looking.
It's looking good.
It's on its way.
Yeah.
I think would this be a good moment to maybe check in on somebody else?
Yeah, and maybe when we get back, if it's not quite done, we can talk a little bit about the space that we're in and what's happening here.
I think this is a good moment to hand it off to another Apple Hill alum.
Yeah.
Hi, Apple Hillers. It's Carol from Toronto. I play the viola, and I miss everybody so much. Never mind, this is about food, which we all love. In Canada, we don't have the same Thanksgiving as the United States, but the one thing we all want to eat when we are together is homemade chicken soup and matzo balls. And this is the chicken soup I just made, and there's lots of fat on the top, which you might not be able to see, but you'd love it if you could taste it. And there are matzo balls, knedelig. So enjoy.
Hi everyone, I'm Sinem. I play the viola and I'm from Cyprus. Today my family and I are gonna share our traditional Sunday lunch with you. Starting with preparing lamb shish for the barbecue. My grandma is making sheftali, which is our favorite dish for Sundays. Traditional sheftali is a minced lamb meat, onion, parsley, black pepper, and salt mix. She uses her hands to make little meatballs and then folds them with the cow fat. Cyprus is a Mediterranean island, but our kitchen is more influenced by Middle Eastern food. My mom is preparing hummus. She is mixing boiled chickpeas, tahini, lemon juice, garlic, salt, some spices, and olive oil. Meanwhile, me and my sister are preparing some side dishes. We like to eat salad with almost every meal. When it comes to barbecue, we like to have some meze as well. My sister is making cacık. It's a yogurt, cucumber, and garlic mix, and always touch of olive oil at the end. No measurements. We always use our eyes, and we taste the food to say if it's ready or not, like my little niece who is tasting cacık. Onion and parsley salad with sumac is one of the dishes that we always have with the kebab. I'm cooking famous Cyprus potatoes in the oven. They're so delicious. And of course, Cyprus's another best halloumi, hellim. My favorite way to eat this cheese is grilled with Cyprus pita. It's time to cook. Not to make them so dry is the key here. When we all get together, always the oldest in the family burns little olive tree branch and says little prayer. and wishes that the bad eye, evil eyes, will stay away from all of us and we will be protected. We finish our meal with Cyprus coffee as always. Hope you enjoyed. Stay safe.
Hi, my name is Renegmes. I am from Mexico. I play the violin and I have been attending Apple Hill for 7 years. This time I'm going to talk about Mexican food called pozole. Look at this. Well, can you see... I'm sorry, can you see the lettuce? It has also radish. In Spanish is rábano. I think in English is radish. It is a sort of broth. In Spanish is caldo. You know, like water. The water is warm. It has chicken. It could be, and maybe the most famous is made of pork, but this time I prefer chicken. And well, we have 3 kinds of pozole. We have green pozole, we have white pozole, and we have red pozole. This time I prefer white. So the colors of pozole are the colors of the Mexican flag, and it's a very, very typical dish for our Independence Day. And well, so it is like that. I hope you can come to Mexico and have some pozole. I can take you, of course, to a very famous pozole place. And we have a great Mexican food. It is very tasty. So, well, I'm going to eat with tostada, which is a very typical also way to eat our food with us. Well, okay, I hope as soon as you come to Mexico, let me know, and I will say to you, enjoy. Okay, bye.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Hello, we're back with our ever-simmering dal, and it still needs a little bit of time.
But you know what, Elise? It's smelling really good.
It is smelling
It
absolutely
really,
incredible.
I can't wait.
Yeah, okay. So Lenny, I thought maybe you could tell us a little bit about this process, where we are.
We are, Elise, standing in a new part of what we're calling the bigger project, which is the central campus, and that's the kitchen, the winter room, which we're now calling the green room, and everything in the basement. And at the end of this project, we'll have an expanded kitchen, a dishwashing system, which will be fantastic.
That's amazing.
A little bit bigger kitchen, a bathroom. We'll show you where the bathroom is. 3 practice rooms in the basement, and all new mechanicals in the base. So a new heater, new for everything. So it's pretty exciting. So the walk-in, which has all the food, is going to be right here in this corner. This will be some storage, which will be great for the kitchen. If you just walk this way for a minute, this is the old part of the kitchen, and the front section there will be the bathroom, and the entrance to the kitchen will be sort of right here. And then if you look that way, that's where the new dishwashing system and more counter space for the cooks. So it's a great project that they're in lightning speed mode, because they're trying to get the roof up before the first snow. And the thing that's weird is that we had the first snow like 2 weeks ago. So,
and this weekend it's 60 degrees.
I know. So I think they're going to make it, but it's quite the process.
Well, Richard is incredible.
Richard and his crew are incredible. And I think one thing that's so amazing is that there's a part where the old kitchen ends, and we have the new section here. And when Richard and the crew were starting to construct this section, this whole part of the foundation was rotten. Wow. And so Richard called me and he said, if we hadn't have done, he said, I don't even know how this building is standing, but if we hadn't have done this, eventually the whole thing would have fallen down. Yeah. So it was a very necessary project to have done.
I think, Lenny, this should sit for a little bit.
Well, Elise, now might be a good time to check in with one of our summer faculty, Vanessa. I think she's going to make something really good for us.
Love it.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Holroyd. I have been coming as a guest faculty to Apple Hill since about 2007. And thank you so much for asking us to be part of this video blog. Our family is going to make pierogies, Polish pierogies. I am not Polish, but my husband Dave is, and we always used to have these at the holidays in his house. And we are making the cheese filling today.
The first step to making pierogies is to make cosmopolitans, because if you're going to eat that much butter and flour and cheese, you might just need a cleanse.
Beets.
It's earthy.
I like it.
It's healthy.
You still rolling?
Yep.
Good.
So we need to make the dough.
Okay.
We are using the pierogi recipe that was in Dave's family from the Episcopal Church cookbook. So first I'm going to put in 2 eggs. We need 2 cups of flour.
So I think you also have to eat Polish pickles from the Polish store in South Boston.
We're ready to start rolling the dough. So it doesn't have to be a perfect oval shape. You just have to be able to squeeze a bunch of pierogies out. And I usually use one of these Bulmemo jam jars to do it. And I'm boiling some water and sauteing some onions. But yep, so you want to put it down and then turn it a little. We're all going to take a little bit of the filling. We're going to put it in the middle. This is just farmer's cheese and egg yolk. We're going to crimp it once on this side. And then we're going to crimp it on this side. Apparently you're supposed to spin the water clockwise. Don't go counterclockwise. Yep. Okay. Yep. Drop it in. And then we put the pierogies when they're done in the pan. Sure it gets nice and covered in butter.
Let's all play hide and seek. Apples, peaches, pumpkin pie. Who's not ready? All right. Let's all.
Can you say bardzo smakuje?
Bardzo smakuje.
Let's all play hide and seek.
So, Elise, the quartet's busy rehearsing now with our new violinist, Jessie McDonald.
Very exciting.
That's going well, right?
Yeah, very well.
What are some of your plans coming up?
So we just finished a really wonderful virtual residency at the University of Iowa, which was so much fun. Virtually meeting all the students and listening to them and playing a concert. We had a great time. And now we're going to be learning some new repertoire and revisiting some older repertoire to give a series of concerts ourselves and guest artists at Apple Hill in the Hoffman Community Room and filmed at different business venues around the Monadnock area.
Awesome.
So actually the first one is we're going to be performing a piece by an alumni, Sato Matsui. Her piece, Free and So Thankful, which she wrote actually after visiting and working at a women's shelter in Manhattan, in New York, I think maybe 3 years ago. So we'll be performing that at the Harrisville General Store with no audience, just recorded there, which is one of our favorite places also to share food and to come together. And we're not coming together right now, but we want to remind people that we will come together and still enjoy their food.
And Sato is an alumni violinist.
Yeah,
and
yes.
What is she doing now?
She is a violinist and she's a composer. She graduated from Juilliard with her DMA or doctorate in composition, and she's now in Paris on a Fulbright.
Awesome.
So she's doing so well.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yes, we're excited. So I think we're ready to taste it, Lenny.
Yeah.
I know we've been very excited. So here's our rice, and I'm using here we go.
Wow, it looks done.
It does. It's done, Lenny. You want a little more?
Yeah.
I know Lenny is
Thank
surprised that it's done.
Well,
I think rice in the Instapot is brilliant.
Do you make oatmeal in that too?
We haven't yet.
No, but you can, right?
You can do anything.
Wow.
I don't know if anything, but just we'll save that for now. Okay, Lenny, here.
Lay it on me.
Yes.
You know what, Elise? This looks like chungba.
I know. Well, you know, chungba makes everything with love. And I think we're doing the same thing here.
So nice. All right.
And curry.
I'm going to do something I never did when I used to have this at Apple Hill. I'm going to put hot sauce on it.
You definitely need
love hot sauce.
I mean, it doesn't need it, but it is so good with the hot sauce.
I never had hot sauce until I went to Texas on a concert tour. I had hot peppers for the first time.
Okay, I'm mixing it in. Lenny, are we ready? Then should we take a bite at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it smells so good. All right.
Cheers,
Is everyone?
Elise.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's good. It's not my recipe, so I can say that.
It is really good.
It's really good.
It's comfort food. It's comfort food.
And now, excuse me, we are going to go to the Harrisville General Store and hear the Apple Hill String Quartet play Sato Matsui's Free and So Thankful.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
because our rice cooker.
I was wondering, is that what an Instapot is?
This is an Instapot.
Okay.
So, but everyone can just make their own rice. Although now,
what is that noise?
They do this.
Instapot like a pressure cooker?
It is.
Oh, why don't they call it a pressure cooker?
They should.
Oh, but it's that vinegar kind of hot.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. Back. Everything's okay. I think this is a good moment to toss it or throw it or hand it. Good moment to throw something like that. Oh, wait a second. We need to quick do that. I don't think they need to see me depressurizing. Sorry, Lenny. I'm hoping this isn't gonna like... I usually have more...
I think so.
I'm sorry, I got really carried away with eating. I forgot that we were even going to hear.
I know. Well, I think that's good.